When I was about 8 years old, I saw the movie Born Free, and it inspired me to want to go to Africa. And then when my children grew up and we had a little space in time and a little bit of money in our life, my husband said, "Where would you like to go?" And of course my first pick was Africa.
The truth is, I had always been a little reluctant to visit Africa. I'd always feared exposure to that degree of poverty.
After much exploration, we came across this man, Mr. Johas Kahembe, who runs cultural tours, and it was the perfect vacation for us because it was safari mixed with a family stay and participating in a school project. So we arrived in the village of Bacho and we stayed with a family with 11 children. And this is where the story really begins, where we fell in love with the people of Bacho immediately. The family we stayed with, they were so gracious. The children were so well behaved and so kind. And then they said, "Do you want us to take you to the school project that we have?" So I was anticipating that there would be lots of volunteer workers, and Dawn and I walked into this school.
We were the project. There were no other people from rich countries there. There was no ongoing development of this school. And the school was, I say enough to make you cry. We did cry when we saw it. It was terrible to think about children attending school when there are dirt floors, no glass in the windows, no doors in the door frames, not enough desks. The desks they did have wobbled, and more. It was really more fit for animals than for children.
This is during their winter, so their students were, many of them, sitting on the dirt floor, and the rain comes in and it's damp. And here were these teachers that were incredibly dedicated, trying to conduct their classes in this hideous condition, but with such integrity and such dignity that we were so overwhelmed, and we thought, we really need to help these people.
That wasn't the worst of it. The worst of it was the toilet for the children, which was a shallow hole in the ground and really an inadequate shelter for any children using the toilet. In other words, you really didn't have true privacy. The government had actually promised that they were going to close the school unless a proper toilet was built. But that was going to cost several $100s, and in this entire village, because these people are subsistence farmers, which is to say most of them have no income at all, in this entire village they could not raise the several $100s needed to build the toilet. So Mary Ann and I had a few $100s, we contributed it, the toilet got built, the school did not get closed, but we realized that we needed to try to do more.
We had several meetings with the teachers. We were invited to many people's homes, which were small huts, sat on many floors and little tiny stools, and shared chicken stew or beans or rice, and had many talks with them about what we could do with the school.
And I said, "We will send money. I don't think we can come back because my wife and I are not rich. It's very expensive for us to come all the way from California."
Well, one of the teachers looked at Dawn and point blank in the eye and said, "We appreciate your money, but you must come back, and you must come back with your students. We need your money, but we need you more." So I don't know how you would say no to that. We came home and said, wow, how do we start? How do we raise money? How do we get a group together? We had an informational evening thinking, well, we hope we can get at least 20 people that would want to go to Tanzania with us. Well, the response was overwhelming. We had 25 spots and there were 48 applicants. We started the Karimu International Help Foundation, and Karimu means generous in Swahili. And it also means willing, so I really liked that idea that we are willing to do whatever it takes to rebuild this school. The response from the community was so heartwarming, and I think what's been so exciting to me about it is it's not just Dawn and me trying to help the Ufani school in Bacho. Suddenly everybody joined in and really wanted to help.
People were absolutely amazing. No, short answer. Long answer is that they were amazing because not only were they so resourceful and diligent and capable people, but because they were resourceful, diligent, capable in what is widely regarded as one of the many third world countries in Africa, and they were happy. I mean, these were some of the happiest people whom I've ever seen. And I work in an amusement park, so I mean, definitely happier people over there.
I tell people that I feel more safe in a third world country in Africa, in a rural area where there's no security, than here. I think it's because I have that human connection and the human safety with everyone else that I feel more safe there, because I know I can rely on someone than just some item, some security box or something. They're just so welcoming and so honest and truthful. They're so genuine, and their time stops, their culture and the people around them and the village and their community is really important to them. And I really like that, and I think we miss that here in America, is culture and having that connection. It's not that we're just coming and observing them and giving them money, it's we're building with them. We're eating with them, we're learning from them. We want to learn about their culture, we want to learn about their language, and I feel like I've gotten so much from them that is just priceless.
They were definitely really receptive to people trying to learn a new language. They're really forgiving of our mistakes also, and I think they were entertained by it also.
Asante sana kwa wema wako.
Edo,
oi,
sawa.
Eva, Edo,
Edo,
sawa Edo,
sawa.
Eva,
Eva.
oh.
Najua kuhesabu na.
There's a lot of value in actually going there. People, they'll ask, why don't you just send money? Why do you need to send all these volunteers over there? Because they can do all the work that needs to be done without us there, clearly. And it's important for them also, that they see who's helping them. The money's important too, of course, because the work can't be done. But actually living with the people and experiencing how they live, you're going to want to learn more about their culture, how you can help them more.
I mean, what is the purpose of a holiday? The purpose of a holiday is all about I, me, ego. I want to go and change my environment. I want to escape from my work. I want to lie on a beach and let the world disappear. When actually, when you lie on the beach, the world doesn't disappear. The world is still there. If you really want to get all of those stresses and strains out of your head, then come to Bacho, because only by witnessing other cultures and by being immersed in other cultures and seeing the problems of other cultures will you realize that your problems are completely insignificant. And within 2 days, you will have forgotten all of your problems because you'll be so focused on dealing with real issues in a real community of wonderful people. And by the time you come back, you will be much more refreshed after 10 days of hard graft than you will of 10 days of hard lying on a beach.
I think anybody that's going to go to Bacho and be a part of this wonderful project of building things, you're going to leave a legacy behind of, you know, part of you will be in there, your soul, your heart. No matter what, you can't help that. As you return back to the States of a comfortable life, you'll know that there's something back there that is part of you, and that you've made a life a little bit better, and hopefully your life is a lot better. I know mine is, clearly.
It's not just that Marianne and I are volunteering. You know, we don't pay ourselves a salary, not even a modest one. It's not just that the people that go along with us, the 25 or 30 of the people that go along with us during the summer, it's not just that they fully pay their own way. All of the cost of the plane ticket, all of the cost of the safari and accommodations and food. It's people that have, either by going on the project or by seeing what the project is like, by hearing about it from others, we have people volunteering their time to help us, as well as volunteering their money. And again, that's money that goes to that village.
Many of you might know that song is, you know, God be with you till we meet again.
Each household in that community live off less than $1 a day. Now, the United Nations continually talks about $1 a day as the poverty level for extreme poverty, and that's referring to a per person income. Well, this is a per household income. So if you started looking at a per person income, it would be less than 20 cents a day. And that's quite frightening, because that's very poor. If you need to buy a school book, and the school book is going to cost the equivalent of $4.50, I mean, how long is that going to take to save that money? You know, you could divide $4.50 by 20 cents a day and work it out. I'm not going to argue the maths, but the reality is that with your 20 cents, you know, how much of that is spare to spend on books? None. Absolutely none. So you're not going to get a book. And if you're not going to get a book, you're not going to get an education. And Don and Marianne have worked with that. They've seen that problem, they've addressed that problem, and that's their first step. The school is not just about the bricks and the roof and the teachers. Let's get the resources into that school so that the kids can really have an opportunity to learn.
The poverty is real. The poverty is, for all that you read about it, actually to be in it is still astonishing. You can scarcely believe that people live with this little, yet they're not miserable. That does not mean, of course, oh, well, they're happy, so leave them alone. I mean, the fact is you still have a life expectancy in the 40s, you still have high infant mortality. These things are wrong, and we're trying in our slow way to address these things. But for all of the poverty and too frequent and too early death that they live with, while they're alive, while they're in the moment, they know that you must do certain things while you're alive. You must enjoy the life that you have.
It makes you think differently. It makes you think, this Christmas, I'm thinking about Christmas in a totally different way, of like, what do we need and what do we buy, and why do we buy things? Why do we do what we do? It makes you kind of look at everything you do in a new light.